Is this Prince Harry's most damaging moment yet?
Other news today, more drama for Prince Harry and wife Meghan.
They had their HRH titles scrubbed from the royal family's website.
Prince Harry, this is probably one of the worst few months of his life.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
We all know the divorce is imminent. Things are not well in Montecito. I'm just calling it now. It's on my card for 2025.
Oh, you say this is the year they divorce?
It's in my celebrity death pool, this marriage, for sure.
All they've done for 5 years is complain and moan and see themselves as downtrodden victims.
Timing of this was really interesting because all references, lingering references to Prince Harry and Meghan have been wiped from the royal family's website.
Was that Meghan's team had a conversation with a publishing house to gauge interest in the idea for a potential book, the concept for which there was no written or formal proposal.
Well, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have made their first public appearance together since reports emerged the couple were spending time apart.
On a trial separation after months of fighting. Sources close to the pair say the time apart is in the hope of rebuilding their bond after recent humiliation and deals falling through with Spotify.
She hasn't been seen wearing it for all of 2023 as far as I can tell. In paparazzi pictures and in some of the more high-profile events she's done, which are only a couple, we have not seen that ring. And I think that raises a lot of really interesting questions, especially given all the reports about the state of her and Harry's marriage.
I guess you just constantly have to reinvent yourself and come up with new reasons for relevancy when you don't have any actual talents. I mean, everything that they've touched turns to the opposite of gold when it comes to their entertainment company and their Netflix deals. My personal favorite thing about her is that when she did her podcast series for Spotify, she didn't even record the interviews properly. She had producers interview the people and then read a script in her own voice of the questions to be edited in after the fact.
For years, the world has watched Meghan Markle's every move, from her fairy tale royal wedding to the explosive interviews that followed. But behind the polished headlines and staged appearances, something darker has been brewing. Whispers of private emails, messages so damaging they could shake the foundations of the British monarchy itself, have started to surface. Insiders say these aren't just ordinary conversations. If the rumors are true, they contain the raw, unfiltered truth, hidden agendas, secret strategies, and a side of Meghan the public was never supposed to see. The palace has stayed eerily silent. Meghan and Harry, no comment. But silence doesn't mean safety, because once these alleged messages slip into the wrong hands, it's game over for both sides.
You know, Meghan, how are you? And are you okay?
That's so kind. I am. I'm better than okay. How are you?
That smile's a little bit over the top. And that single shoulder shrug she has, that usually indicates that person isn't very confident with their answer or their statement.
And the scariest part? Some say it's already happening behind the scenes. But to understand the magnitude of what's coming, we need to rewind. Because the emails might be secret, but the feud, that's been unfolding for years. And it's about to get uglier than anyone imagined. When Meghan Markle first stepped into the royal spotlight, the world was captivated. An American actress marrying into the most secretive, powerful family on earth, it felt like history in the making. But fairy tales fade fast. Within months, cracks appeared. Whispers of royal tension, tabloid attacks, and family disputes boiled over into global headlines. The Oprah interview, that was just the beginning. Meghan and Harry's Netflix series, carefully scripted. Every move since their royal exit has been crafted for maximum public impact.
But to the world, it's just, what has she been doing? Does she work? As opposed to, oh my gosh, I work so hard and I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard.
The beginning of that clip where she's like, oh my God, yeah, it's like, it's so inauthentic.
But here's what they didn't show you. The private communications, the closed-door arguments, the emails insiders claim expose the true chaos behind the scenes. Some say these hidden messages reveal how Meghan fought back against the firm. Not through interviews or speeches, but through private channels the public never saw. Emails that could expose power plays, manipulation, and the ugly details of what really tore the royal family apart. The public battle was messy enough, but if what's hidden ever comes to light, the world might finally see the full, unfiltered war between Meghan Markle and the monarchy. But the real twist? It wasn't Meghan who set this fire in motion, it was an unexpected insider, someone dangerously close to the palace. For months, the royal family kept a tight lid on their dirty laundry. The public saw the polished interviews, carefully crafted statements, staged photo ops, but behind closed doors, total chaos. And then, out of nowhere, the cracks widened. A palace insider, someone with undeniable connections deep inside royal operations, whispered something that changed everything. They didn't release documents, they didn't name names, but their message was chillingly clear. The emails exist. Private, unfiltered, digital proof that could blow Meghan Markle's entire narrative apart and expose what the royal family has fought desperately to hide. Suddenly, the world wasn't talking about Netflix specials or book deals anymore. They were asking, what's in those emails? Who's protecting them? And most importantly, why haven't they surfaced? The insider didn't offer details, just a warning that what's buried beneath the palace walls isn't just scandalous, it's explosive. But if the emails are real, what do they actually say? Because the rumors swirling around their contents, they're enough to make even the most loyal royalist nervous. For days, the world speculated. Were the emails real? Were they just another tabloid fantasy? But the more insiders whispered, the more details started to emerge. And what they described sent shockwaves through both Buckingham Palace and Meghan Markle's inner circle.
Oh my gosh, look at all these photos about last night. ... Thank you, Beyonce and team, for an amazing concert and a very fun date night. All love. Girl, she didn't invite you to the concert.
She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work. She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service.
See, these weren't harmless personal chats or meaningless schedules. These emails, if they exist, allegedly contain the kind of raw, behind-the-scenes exchanges that expose the brutal reality of life inside the royal family and the carefully constructed image Meghan and Harry have fought to maintain. Let's break it down. First, there's talk of money disputes. Secret arguments over financial deals, royal allowances, and private funding that the public was never meant to know. Remember, when Meghan and Harry stepped back from their duties, they claimed they wanted financial independence. But insiders suggest the emails may tell a much messier story, one of quiet negotiations, backdoor agreements, and desperation to secure wealth beyond the firm's control. Then, there are the media manipulation claims, perhaps the most damaging of all. Some sources hint these emails contain clear proof of Meghan coordinating with PR teams and sympathetic journalists to control the narrative. Think about it. Glowing magazine covers, sympathetic interviews, documentaries framed with just the right emotional pull. But the emails, they may reveal a calculated strategy, not raw honesty, but rehearsed storytelling designed to protect reputations and destroy critics. And it doesn't stop there. Whispers suggest these messages also include discussions contradicting Meghan's most explosive public statements, including details about royal protocol violations, behind-the-scenes disputes, and private reactions to events that, publicly, looked entirely different. For example, during the Oprah interview, Meghan made headlines with claims of being silenced and isolated. But what if these emails show active participation in decision-making, legal negotiations, or even direct influence over media portrayals? The public saw vulnerability, but the emails may reveal power plays. There's even speculation that the messages touch on accusations of racism, one of the most controversial aspects of Meghan and Harry's narrative. Insiders say if the emails contradict or complicate those claims, it could unravel everything, turning sympathy into skepticism overnight. It's important to be clear, these details remain unverified. The palace refuses to comment. Meghan's camp stays silent, but the persistent rumors, they're not going away. And for many, silence speaks louder than denial. Because if these alleged emails do leak, if even a fraction of what's been whispered proves true, Meghan's entire carefully constructed public image could collapse. And the royal family? They wouldn't walk away unscathed either. But while the world speculates, the palace moves differently. Behind gilded gates, far from cameras and microphones, panic has already begun. The British royal family has survived wars, scandals, betrayals, and centuries of public scrutiny, but nothing rattles them quite like the threat of exposed secrets, especially the kind that can't be spun, silenced, or buried under tradition. And that's exactly what these alleged emails represent. Officially, the palace says nothing. No press conferences, no carefully worded statements, just the usual cold silence wrapped in centuries of stiff upper lip tradition. But behind those towering castle walls, insiders say the mood has shifted, and fast. High-level emergency meetings, private legal consultations, crisis PR teams working overtime, it's the kind of quiet chaos the public rarely sees. But those closest to the firm, they've seen this playbook before, and it only means one thing: panic mode. Remember the fallout from Prince Andrew's scandals? The scrambling after Harry and Meghan's bombshell Oprah interview? The firm is no stranger to controversy, but leaked private communications? That's a whole different threat. Emails are dangerous. They're time-stamped. They're written in black and white. They carry the raw, unpolished truth, free from the carefully curated royal image the palace guards so fiercely. And that's why, according to sources, the palace is already bracing for impact. Staff have reportedly been warned to stay silent. Trusted aides have been pulled into discreet meetings. Legal experts specializing in digital privacy and media leaks have been quietly consulted. The question haunting the palace isn't just whether the emails exist, it's whether they can be contained or if it's already too late. Because if these digital messages surface, if they reveal contradictions, calculated PR moves, or internal chaos, the monarchy's already fragile reputation could shatter overnight. And make no mistake, it's not just Meghan's image at stake. If these emails implicate other royals, expose deeper family fractures, or contradict official palace narratives, the fallout would be catastrophic. That's why, behind the smiles, polished appearances, and perfectly rehearsed public engagements, Buckingham Palace is holding its breath. But containment might be out of their hands, because in the digital age, nothing stays buried forever. And with the world watching, waiting, and speculating, one question looms larger than ever. Can the royals stop this leak, or is the dam already cracking? What happens next? That depends on the one thing they can't fully control: who actually holds those emails. In the world of royalty, image is everything. Every handshake, every speech, every glance is choreographed to protect the legacy. But emails are raw. They're permanent. And once they slip beyond private servers, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. So here's the question everyone's whispering: can these alleged Meghan Markle emails actually leak? And if they do, what happens next? Legal experts say it's complicated. First, there's the issue of ownership. If the emails were sent through official royal channels or involve palace staff, they could technically be protected by confidentiality agreements or even royal privilege, a powerful legal shield that's kept many scandals buried. But here's the twist: if Meghan or Harry used personal accounts, if the emails were shared with outside parties, that legal protection gets murky fast. So, while the palace may consult the best lawyers money can buy, they can't fully stop a determined leaker, especially if that person holds the alleged emails and sees them as a ticket to money, revenge, or media glory. And here's where things get even messier. If those emails contradict Meghan's public statements, if they reveal staged narratives, power plays, or internal chaos, the legal fight won't be limited to courtrooms. It'll explode across headlines, social media, and global debates, dismantling years of image building in a matter of days. The monarchy may survive traditions, protests, even family betrayals, but unchecked digital leaks? That's a modern scandal they're barely prepared for. And as lawyers scramble and insiders whisper, the biggest question still lingers in the air: who has the emails? Are they bluffing? Or is the most devastating royal leak in modern history already locked, loaded, and ready to detonate? One thing's certain: the future for Meghan and Harry hangs in the balance. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have built a brand on their own terms, a brand of independence, truth, and breaking away from royal constraints. But beneath the headlines and high-profile projects lies a fragile empire, one that could crumble if these emails ever see the light of day. Their story is about control, controlling the narrative, controlling public opinion, controlling the distance from the palace. But if the emails reveal contradictions, hidden motives, or behind-the-scenes disputes, that control could slip through their fingers overnight. Imagine the fallout: public sympathy turning into doubt, loyal fans questioning the truth, and powerful allies distancing themselves in fear of being caught in the crossfire. Their carefully crafted image as victims and champions could unravel, exposing raw and messy realities they've fought so hard to keep private. It could also reignite old family wounds, forcing Harry and Meghan to choose between loyalty and self-preservation. The trust within their inner circle, already strained, could fracture beyond repair. Their projects, Netflix deals, philanthropic ventures, book deals, all depend on their public appeal. A scandal of this magnitude might scare away partners and sponsors, leaving their future uncertain. But perhaps worst of all, this could drag them right back into the royal spotlight, but not as reformers or rebels. Instead, as embroiled figures in the biggest royal scandal of the decade. For Meghan and Harry, the stakes have never been higher. The question now is not just if the emails exist, but how far they're willing to go to keep them buried. Because in this game, the price of exposure isn't just reputation, it's everything. So far, the alleged emails remain locked away, hidden from public view. But the whispers grow louder every day. The palace holds its breath. Meghan and Harry watch nervously from across the ocean. What happens when those secrets finally slip out? Will the royal family fracture beyond repair? Will Meghan's carefully built empire crumble? Or will this just be another storm they weather? One thing is certain, in today's digital age, nothing stays buried forever. Secrets like these have a way of finding the light, no matter how hard you try to hide them. As the world waits, watches, and wonders, the biggest question remains. Are we on the brink of the biggest royal scandal of the century? Stay tuned, because when the truth behind those emails finally emerges, it won't just change Meghan Markle's story, it could change everything.